Back to Slendelo Masakane, we had to break away to see the Zulu King coming in. And I've been learning the whole day as to what this ceremony means, and I've actually loved watching it. So we're going to go back to Siphamandla Gorge a little bit later. You and I were about to start talking about this recovery. I was saying that you've been going out nearly every day, and every time you get there, I can almost see earlier in the day, there's this sense of hope for not just obviously you, but EMS, the family, the community. Like, today is the day, and yet here you come back again, and we don't.
Yeah, 13 days later, and I think we're all still quite hopeful that something will be found at this point. We know that rescue, or should I say recovery operations rather, are now at the main plant. So this is the last stretch in which EMS services could actually search in terms of the pipeline systems. We're 13 kilometers away from where Khayalethu is said to have fallen in that open manhole at the park in Dlamini. We're now basically in Eldorado Park at the Klipspruit Valley Cemetery, and this is where the main plant is based. In fact, over the past couple of days, what EMS services have been doing is basically sweeping that entire area, from having choppers in the skies, drones in the skies, to having emergency services within the pipes, walking through with technology, robotics, cameras, to give them a view of what's actually happening down there. And every single day they have been going back to the family to give a report in terms of where these operations are. And the latest I can say, Gareth, is that in terms of what EMS services have been able to do or could do at this point, it has come to an end. They have searched that entire pipeline, about 25 manholes that they've gone through, and at this point that search is now at the main plant, where it's actually in the hands of Joburg Water to now actually monitor what is coming through the system in terms of what the pipelines are bringing towards that main plant.
And this is it's this uncomfortable question as well, isn't it? Because this was a promise made by the Joburg mayor to come through, and if hopefully the hope was always alive. Yes. But that's why we had to go from using the word search and rescue to search and recovery, because there isn't a reasonable belief if Khaya is in one of these sewers that he could still be alive. But that promise was made, and if it's not if it's not kept, there's going to be a lot of angry people, isn't there?
I mean, at this point, in terms of what EMS services can do, what we know is that they've done all they can do. What needs to happen is that if Joburg Water then comes back to say, look, we've been monitoring the main plants, we've been trying to see exactly what's coming through, and we're not picking up anything that looks like human remains. It's back to the drawing board, unfortunately, for emergency services as well as the city of Joburg, because that promise was made, and I think it's going to be an indictment on them if they don't fulfill it, because the Magadla family at this point, not only have they made peace with the fact that Khayalethu may not be alive anymore, they simply just want his remains. And so I think all that's left in terms of them, if they don't find anything in the main plant, is to start again. That 13-kilometer stretch is to sweep it again.
Just go back to the beginning.
Go back to the beginning and start afresh in terms of looking through these pipelines. And that is if he did fall through there, because he has to be found. He has to be found.
And that's what I was about to ask you. I heard an interview on one of our local radio stations earlier this week. Someone asking the question, why are we getting helicopters and drones in the air if the belief, and there's nothing to suggest it's not what happened, factually, why were there helicopters and drones? Was there a suspicion? Is there a belief that maybe he didn't fall in, A, or B, maybe he's come out somewhere else and isn't able to move, or perhaps sadly the body is there? Is that what the reason for the aerial search was?
I think it's just to cover all our bases, everything, in terms of if there's a possibility that maybe he had fallen through and come out somewhere in terms of close to the plant, then that footage would be able to assist EMS services to say, okay, he's no longer in the pipes, but he has come through out somewhere. I think what we were seeing is just every resource, nothing has been spared in terms of trying to locate Khayalethu, like you said, from those choppers in the skies, from the drones, even the K9 unit being sent within the pipes with emergency services to try and smell whether there are any human remains in there.
So just before I say goodbye to you as well, Sleep for now. So tomorrow, Sunday, it's exactly 2 weeks.
Exactly
tomorrow.
2 weeks tomorrow.
Where are we on this? What happens tomorrow? You were mentioning Joburg Water. What happens when, I'm not sure if you're on the story tomorrow, but what happens when you get there tomorrow? What are we looking for?
So essentially, when I say that what EMS services has, would have been able to do in terms of search and recovery, they've done that. It's a handover essentially to Joburg Water, who is responsible for the main plant, to now search what's coming through into the main plant. So what I'm saying is that we won't be seeing search and rescue and recovery officials on the ground tomorrow, because they have covered everything that they can in terms of searching the pipeline system. It's now up to Joburg Water to be monitoring what is coming through, any blockages, anything unusual that seems like human remains that they can flag and then test, and then hopefully have some news for the Magadla family. We will be trying to speak to them tomorrow, of course. I mean, 7 days ago, I remember we saw not only traditional healers, but we saw church-based organizations coming to the actual manhole to pray over it, to perform some rituals, because at this point it's all hands on deck to try and assist this family to be able to find closure.
And today and tomorrow are going to be another very, very sad and tragic milestone in this exactly 2 weeks. And I know you're going to be there, Slee. Thank you for going out and telling the story and staying on top of it. Slindelo Masakane, it's not easy as all for reporters to stand and also speak to families who are tragically going through these ordeals. But we'll stay on the story. The moment we know anything, of course, we'll bring it to you here on eNCA.